Well, hello.
Good
We are
evening,
here.
Sandy. Good evening, Condi.
Matthew, good to see you. I love your background.
Thank you. It's very much in the Runners Jam colours. Spent a lot of
It
time
is.
developing that just for you, Condi.
Very much signifies our long run on Sundays, doesn't it?
Perfect, isn't it?
And I like Maddie's tip. Left foot, then right foot.
Yes, exactly.
It's very important when you're running to remember it's left
Very
and right.
important.
Hey guys, welcome to the Runners Jam Live. We're live on YouTube. I think this is the first time we've been live. If you want to let us know in the chat, if you're around, who's listening, I'd like to know where you're from. If you're from Brisbane, great, just put it in the chat. We've also already heard from, sounds like Cameron, there better be a segment on the benefits of purple carbons. There could be.
There may be.
There could be. So let us know in the chat. Jazzy looks like she's sent us a nice face laughing emoji. So let us know in the chat if you're listening. We'd love to know where you're from and what are you planning to do over this weekend. And we know we've got the Sunshine Coast Marathon coming up this weekend. And this podcast is going to be obviously based around a lot of those issues. I might put us into the first slide. This is just the welcome slide. So what are we going to talk about over the course of this next half hour? We're going to talk about pacing, Matthew, aren't we, Sam?
Very important. You know, with a lot of people doing a half marathon, a lot of people doing their marathon. How do you manage to pace that? It's an important tactic.
Exactly. And we look at some of the research around that as well.
Really important stuff.
Yeah. We're going to talk about nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think that's a really important part. And a lot of people, you know, either get it right or get it wrong. Sometimes it's a bit of a trial and error, isn't it? Sometimes.
Yeah. And hopefully you've done most of the trials before the race. But, you know, we'll still cover it today.
Exactly. And everyone's favourite topic, Matthew.
Yeah, we're going to have a very short look at shoes.
Yeah, we have a very short look.
We're not experts. So.
We are not experts, but we'll try our best to cover some of the more basics around shoes. We want to leave a little bit of time for Q&A. So if you want to leave a question in the comments, we have Jody who is moderating the comments. So we're happy to try and answer any questions that may come up in the comments. And it looks like Cherith is there. Thank you, Cherith. Cherith is listening. And hopefully final tips for the sunny coast at the end. But more importantly, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. We want to see.
That's why we're doing this, right? For the likes.
That's for the likes. I think we're only sitting at 71 subscribers. It's very.
Let's see if we can go for 72 tonight.
If you guys are happy with 72, you know, my goal would love to get 100. I'd like to see 100, but it may not happen tonight. But please like and subscribe for more content coming your way. So this is what we're doing tonight. So why don't we start off with pacing? Let's look at, okay, I suppose a lot of us will be setting a goal time, whether you're doing the half or whether you're doing the full. There's always that element of setting that goal time, isn't there?
Yeah, and it's a great thing to have because it does motivate you, but it needs to be a realistic goal time too, because you don't want to set yourself up for going out too hard and then not achieving your goals. So, you know, we can talk about having a dream goal time, you know, which is when everything goes absolutely perfectly. And then you really want to have a realistic goal time. That's the one you feel like, yep, I've trained for this. I can achieve it.
Yeah.
If I work hard and things go well. Yeah.
Yeah. Matthew,
people set those A goals, B goals, and C goals. The A goal is I just want to finish. My B goal is I want to make sure I do this time. My C goal is the stretch goal, or around the other way, depending how you go. The C goal being, or the A goal being, you know, I'd like to run a 2-hour half marathon, or you know, that's always nice to have in your head too. So you can still meet your goals, even if they're not the right ones to meet.
That's right. And C is always, I'm going to get to the finish line. But, and in saying that too, I do want to remind everyone that getting to the start line is the hugest achievement, because you've done all the training week after week after week after week. So, you know, if you don't hit the A, B or the B goal, just getting to that start line is worth a really good pat on the back.
It is. It is. And here we have a picture of Mark. You know, look at that, 340.
3:40 marathon pacer.
Yeah, that's a great goal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Incredible to think that somebody can pace that pace. That's
Exactly.
insane.
And now it could be that one of your goals is really just to do a negative split within your race. You know, and that's an important part too, Matthew, isn't it?
That's right, Connie. That's going to be my goal this time for the Sunshine
Yeah.
Coast. I was really happy with my Gold Coast time. I had a goal there of running a 1 hour 35 half, and I managed to do it 1 hour 34.50. So I thought, okay, I've achieved that goal for Gold Coast. Now I want to try and do something a little bit different to what I normally do. I tend to go out very fast and fade, but this time I really want to do a negative split, which is obviously, well, not obviously, maybe you don't know, it's running the second half of the race faster than the first half of the race. So for me, that's going to be trying to slow myself down at the start and run faster at the end, which is not something I'm very good at, but something I want to challenge myself with.
Yeah, that's a good challenge. So Matthew, would you sort of measure your negative splits in 5K blocks?
Yeah, my plan for Sunshine Coast is around about, I think the 6K blocks is how I'm going to do it, because there's a hill 6Ks coming back. So the first 6Ks, on pace for the next 6Ks, and then speed up for the last 6Ks, and then whatever's left, we go.
Yeah.
So Matthew, then how would you pace yourself?
So my goal pace is around the 4:30 per kilometre. So for the first 6Ks, I'm going to go slower than that. Those middle 6Ks are going to be on pace. And then hopefully after 12Ks through to 18, I can go a little bit faster than that to balance out the first 6Ks. So by the time I get to 18, I should be right on pace, ready to go and see what I've got left for those last 3.
Well, yeah.
And it's such a good feeling to finish strong, isn't it?
Oh, it's an amazing feeling, especially as you run past all the tents at Runners Jam. If you're still up on your toes, you're feeling strong, and you've got the ability to wave and cheer at the crowd, it makes just give you that extra boost at the end. It's so much fun.
Yeah. And it's also worthwhile sort of mentioning when you do have paces throughout these races as well, Matthew, you talked about, in the sense of how you sort of communicate maybe with your pacer or keep them in sight.
Yeah. All of these big races have really good paces. They're usually people that can run, like we've got a picture here of Mark, who can run a much faster than a 3:40 marathon. It's really important if you're going to run with one of these guys, and their jobs are really difficult. But I always find it's good if you can jump in and have a chat to them before the race and say, look, I'm going to run with you, Mr. 2-hour pacer. What is your plan? Are you going to run fast at the start to make sure we've got some time banked, or are you going to run slow at the start so that we're speeding up, just so that they can align with your pacing plan as well? Because if you see them running away from you at the start, you might get a little bit disheartened. You don't want to. You want to know what they're doing to make sure you're okay with that.
Yeah, and that is such a good point, Matt, that we want to be really cognitive of what's happening. So like when we're setting our goal times, we want to be really sensible about that. So we need to then go into pacing with that same, just definite decision making around it and knowing what our pacer is doing, as you said. So if he's doing even splits all the way through, if we know, okay, well, my plan is I'm going to slow down at the beginning and then I'm going to speed up, then we're okay to watch that balloon disappear into the distance for a little bit without panicking, knowing that we're going to catch it up as we go through.
Yeah. And the great thing, there's a number of these pace calculators that are out there. There's Macmillan, there's Strava, and there's always Garmin.
Yeah, the Macmillan one's pretty cool. It allows you to put in, say, I've run a 25-minute 5K. What's my half pace going to be? And it really builds that out for you in a bit of a plan. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Just a word of caution around the Garmin one, because most of us are wearing Garmin watches, and it will tell you, what it thinks you can run a half marathon or a marathon in. Garmin is very encouraging.
It's very encouraging.
Yeah. So it may not be a realistic time. So, if you're early in your running career, I would add some time to what Garmin says you can do.
I always have a theory that it takes your best ever 1 kilometre and just extrapolates that out, because there's no way you can run by half as fast as it thinks.
Yeah, exactly. So I would just hate a new runner to look at that and go, oh, it says I can do this. And then find that if you go out at that pace, you're just going to blow up really quickly. So be a bit cautious with it. So certainly use those calculators, but also talk to more experienced runners and get them to help you with the pacing as well. Yeah.
And I think you're right. Those pace calculators are really important to have. Garmin is so encouraging.
It is encouraging.
It's such an encourager, Garmin. But, you talk about picking something when it comes to your pace, a slightly more conservative starting pace, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with that because, as Matt's going to try and do this weekend, if you're more conservative at the start, then you get the buzz at the end of having some energy left and coming home strong. And that's so good. One of my old coaches, Greg Scanlon, he always said, you can't build a cushion at the beginning of a race. So it's not like you can go out hard and go, oh, well, I've got some time up my sleeve. It just doesn't work like that. And we're actually going to touch on that in a second, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly. So let's have a look at some of the research when it comes to, I suppose, this notion of starting slower.
Yeah.
There's a piece of research called Fast Starters and Slow Finishers. It talks about avoiding fast starts. And we constantly say that, when we said that constantly throughout the course of this evening, is that make sure you start not too fast, but at a pace that's obviously less than your what they call your mean race pace. So what it says here is that starting too fast is the single most damaging pacing mistake for recreational marathon runners. Now, this study obviously is looking at marathon runners, but there's a lot of lessons we can
take to the half.
Yeah, when it comes to the half as well. It says running the first 5 kilometers just 10% faster than your mean race pace.
Your average race pace.
Or average, yeah. They call it mean race pace. Can add about 37 minutes to your average finishing time.
That's
huge.
That's huge, yeah.
That is huge. So it just shows you the value of starting slower.
Yeah.
Now, this study was done on literally over 1 million runners, and it covers a lot of the major marathons around the world as well. So it includes a lot of that. So there's a lot of data that this particular piece of research is looking at. So it talks about fast starts also greatly increase your probability of hitting the wall. What is the wall?
It's the bonk, isn't it? I love how the English call it the bonk. Yeah, the wall is when your body runs out of glycogen.
Yeah.
You've just burned it up and you literally, I guess it feels a little bit different for everyone. When I hit the wall, I was running fine. I felt great. And then all of a sudden it was as if I was going in slow motion.
Yeah.
And my legs were stuck. My head was still, running at the pace it wanted to run, but literally it was slow motion. Have you hit the wall, Maddie?
Oh, yeah. I've done 3 marathons, and the first 2 were definitely 32-kilometer bonks. And for me, I had 2 different experiences. The first one, just ran out of puff, just ran out of energy. My legs didn't want to work anymore. And the second one, my brain said, why are we doing this? It just completely overwhelmed me. And I ran out of, that was Sunshine Coast Marathon. So look forward to that this weekend, everyone. But yeah, 32 Ks both times. And my 3rd marathon in Sydney last year, I was very, very conscious that I was going to hit the wall at 32K. So I prepared everything for that moment.
Perfect.
And running with Jasmine there for those last 5 or 6 Ks in that area really helped, gave you that extra lift that you needed to move through. Incredible.
Yeah. And the research also shows that a large majority of recreational runners, they say over 68%, so which is around about 70% really, that's 7 out of 10 people start at least 5% faster than their average pace.
Yeah.
So
they're dropping off at the end.
Yeah.
Dropping off.
Exactly. And look, one thing that they also talk about is women tend to pace their race more efficiently than men. You got to
why?
Matthew, why do
I don't know. It's got to be a bit of bravado, hasn't it? It's got to be a bit of ego. Like, it feels great to be passing all those people in the first couple of Ks, especially when, you're up front, everybody's zooming past you. It just feels really disheartening. So it feels much better to be going past everyone. But it feels even better to be doing that at the end of the race. Much more fun at the end of the race.
Yeah. And that's, again, that mental preparedness, isn't it? To go into the race going, all right, when I start, I'm just going to let all these schmucks go off fast and, I'm just going to hold my ground. Yeah, I'll catch you up soon. And just knowing that it's okay that people take off and leave me behind at the beginning because I'm playing the smart game here.
And let's just have a look at this last sort of point I wanted to make. And it goes back to what Matthew was talking about. Male runners are much more prone to pushing hard during the early part of the race, which makes them more likely to finish slower and significantly increase their risk of hitting that wall, which is around about that 32 kilometer mark. Yeah.
Can I just around that? Because when it says, it can add up to 37 minutes to your time.
Yeah.
That's shocking. That's really shocking. And people will be thinking, there's no way it can add 37 minutes to my time. But, the data, as you said, of how many people, over a million runners shows that. Now, obviously, if you're a 2 hour 20 finisher, it's probably not going to add 37 minutes. It's probably going to add 10 or 15. But so we're talking with averages here.
Yeah, we are. And we're talking marathons.
Yeah. But I do want to say, imagine if for your marathon, even if you walked the first 5K, so you didn't even start running till you hit the 5K mark. So you walked that first 5K, you're still not losing as much time as that 37 minutes. So, you walk, it's just, you just cannot lose by going slower at the beginning.
Exactly. And I think that's probably the main point here is that you.
God, that would be the hardest thing in the world to do, to walk your first
wouldn't
5 days of a marathon.
You know what? Then you've only got to run 37, don't you? Not 42. But I mean, the facts are, if you can just at least start, even if you can start 30 seconds slower pace.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a really good thing to do.
Yeah. Well, they talk about, starting 5% slower than your average.
Yeah.
Or your goal pace. Yeah.
I just don't think you can start too slow. So whatever you do, you will catch it up. Yeah.
We talk about that conversational pace type of thing. Yeah. Let's move on. Okay. Look, if you are doing a marathon or half over the course of this weekend, drop us a comment in the comments here. Tell us your goals. Tell us if you're aiming for a negative splits like Matthew will do. And I'm really looking forward to seeing those stats, Matthew, after Sunday.
This is part of the goal, Connie. By telling everybody I'm doing this, I have to.
Yes. Yes.
I did just want to, I know one of our girls, like Jess, is doing her first half marathon this weekend. And so for newer runners, they're going to be thinking, well, I don't know what pace, I don't know what my pace is. I have no idea what I should be doing for this. So I would think along the lines of, okay, well, what pace are you doing your long runs at? When you've gone out for your longest run, whether that be 18K or 21K, whatever it is, what pace did you hold for that? And I would start at that pace, do your first 3 to 4K at that pace and just settle in. Just settle in, let the muscles warm up, be comfy with that, knowing that, okay, then the next few Ks, I can pick up a little bit and I can pick up a little bit and I can pick up a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's not like you have to go out because you don't know what time you can hit when you're a brand new runner. You've got no idea. So start at that long run pace and then add to it as the Ks go on.
Yeah. Jazzy, thank you for subscribing. You are now number 72. We can put that down now. Okay, let's have a look at nutrition strategies. This is a big one too as well. What's everyone's go-to fuel, whether it's gels, whether it's blocks or real food such as bananas. We love to hear your thoughts on that because I know everyone's different and everyone reacts differently to certain gels or brands of gels or blocks as well. But what we do know, the night before, a lot of people like to carb load.
They do.
And I know that a lot of people have a certain routine when it comes to their meal before the race.
What's your routine, Matt?
We always have a burrito, homemade burritos that Jody makes on the night before. We've been carb loading for 2 or 3 nights now. So we've had Thai food, which had a lot of veggies and sauces. Tonight we had a big pasta, and then we move into we do a bit more protein with some more vegetables tomorrow night. And then so we do this every time we have a race. It's a very well-known routine. Nothing's going to affect us stomach-wise, and everything goes well there. Breakfast for me is 2 bits of toast. We've got always have a Vegemite and a honey piece of toast and then a banana as I'm walking to the event. 15 minutes before, I'll have a gel. And then obviously during race, more gels and water as I go along as well. What about you, Sandy? What do you like to do?
Well, I was just going to say, Matt, I love that you have perfected this and you know what works. And that's what's really important about this is that we need to trial all these things well and truly before races.
Right, yeah.
And again, for our newer runners, you're not going to know necessarily what works well for your breakfast unless you've been trialing it in your long runs. But of course, races do put different stresses on our body too. So, when you become as experienced as Matt at racing, then you'll know exactly what to do, and you can tick off the menu just as Maddie's done for us.
Just a note there, Jody says brown rice as well, Matthew.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I always forget the brown rice. Yeah, the brown rice goes with the burritos. Yeah, important for the
Always
energy
like
levels.
I eat safely the night before a race as well. Like the days before, I'll do the typical carb loading and that, but the night before a race, I just like a piece of fish and salad. I just don't want to. I would never eat Thai or anything like that the night before because the belly could be churning in the morning. Yeah.
Hydration is an important part as well. I mean, I like to at least have one of those salt tablets prior to the race, or even the night before.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
I usually take half a tablet the night before. I find that really helps me when it comes to hydration.
Yeah, because you want to build all your electrolytes up before the race. And on that one, if you haven't listened to the Runners Jam podcast, there's a really good one with Andy and from Precision Fuel and Hydration. And he talks us through carbs and hydration for racing, for the purpose of racing. So that's a really good listen. So even if you haven't got everything exactly right for this weekend's race, get onto it. And then, you'll be right for your next races coming up.
There's some good lessons there. I mean, the breakfast thing is also very individual as well.
Yeah.
Matthew, you talked about toast and whatever. I don't really eat anything.
And the timing. How long before?
Yes, exactly. And obviously we talk about during the race, people use a variety of gels, chews, electrolytes, real food.
Yeah.
Bananas, pretzels, or even lollies.
Yeah, didn't we have someone from Runners Jam have a burger during a marathon?
Yeah, was it a cheeseburger?
So that's a bit much for me. I stick to the gels and the chews.
So if you're running past a McDonald's, cheeseburger and fries as you go through the drive-through.
That was brave, wasn't it?
And when you need that energy boost, though, sometimes you'll take anything. I've been known to have a lolly from some of the kids on the side of the road handing them out. Sometimes you just need that boost.
And that timing of that intake is crucial.
Yeah, really important to take carbs during the race, ideally every 30 to 45 minutes. And again, that should have been something that you've at least trialed a bit in your long runs to know what sits well on your belly. The average rule is 60 grams of carbs per hour. Again, that's going to differ for every single person. So with all these general rules, we're saying there's always going to be people who break those rules, but these are just guidelines. So that's something you really need to look at because you will use up the glycogen in your body.
Yeah, you will.
You definitely will in a marathon. And in a half marathon, by around the 18K, you'll probably start to feel really tired if you haven't refueled.
So I'm hoping that most people would have got to the point where they've trialed their gels and electrolytes so they don't have these stomach issues.
That's what our Sunday long runs are really good at. If you get to the 6.5K mark out at the water bubbler, that's a really good time to take a gel on board, check it out, make sure it's working.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's a great thing. Yeah. Now I know we've got there he is, Cameron. Better be a segment on the benefits of purple carbons. And we have them right here. Bit of a shoe update. We are not experts, are we, Matthew, at shoes?
We tried to get an expert, but they were unavailable, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's exactly so. But is anyone out there trying carbon-plated shoes for the first time? I'd be interested. If you are, let us know in the comments because people have various experiences with carbon. Matthew, you love them.
I absolutely love them. I was convinced a couple of years ago by Alan to try them out, and I'm a convert. I didn't believe in them at first, but the benefits to me outweigh the risks of injury to me. So for me, I managed to drop maybe 6 minutes out of my half marathon time due to carbon shoes. Maybe not alone, but maybe the aura of the benefit of the carbon shoes being
Yeah.
faster, and you feel faster, so you go
Yeah.
faster, add up to me. I can drop, anywhere between 20 and 40 seconds out of a 5K time just by strapping on a pair of carbon shoes. So really adds up quite quickly for me, and they've made a huge difference. Now, they don't always feel great afterwards. My ankles tend not to like them because of the roll in that you get with the carbon shoes. But I feel like the benefit of running faster to me is well worth the pain the next day.
Yeah, and I think that's important to mention that risk, that con versus advantage of them too, because for some people, as for you, Maddie, getting that extra time is worth it for you. But for others of us who are perhaps the more injury-prone runners, for me, that's not a risk I'm willing to take at this point. And then there'll be other runners too who aren't as fast as you, Matt. And for them, there may not be as much of a payoff from carbons. So there's a lot to think about there, but certainly there are people who love them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me personally, I think over those short distances, 5, 10, where I'm actually running a little bit faster, I find those things just spring you along. They just bounce along. And you've got to be at a certain pace, I'm thinking, Matthew, don't you? Because, you run a half at 4:30s, and those carbons just bounce along, don't they?
They're an incredible feeling shoe. Like, they weigh next to nothing. They're almost paper thin, but the return you get from it when you're, especially for me, I don't run in my carbons unless I'm doing a race. So for me, they're like, I've been wearing a weight vest on my training days, and I take the weight vest off and I'm light on my feet, and it's an amazing feeling.
Yeah.
I'm forever grateful for being introduced to them.
but on that, Matt, like, would you recommend strapping on a pair of carbons for the first time at the beginning of a half marathon? Or do you
absolutely. I think
break them in over a 5K or something just to get used to that feeling?
No, I think the best time to do it is if you've never worn them before, first day of the race. I think that's perfect. No, absolutely not. You've definitely got to work your way into them for sure, because they are a completely different shoe. If you've never worn a carbon-plated shoe before, it is completely different to what you're normally used to wearing. And if you put them on for the first time on race day, you'll be shocked and maybe even a little bit dismayed at how they feel, because it does take a lot to get used to. So you definitely a park run or two, build up in a 10K, a fast 10K, and then making it to your half. Everybody has to do their first half in a pair of carbons.
Yeah.
I would not recommend that being the first time you've ever worn them.
Yeah. So, Matthew, what are the elites wearing? We know what they're wearing, aren't they? The Nikes.
The new hot shoes today are the Asics Metaspeeds. The Tokyo Edge and Sky just came out. I believe we're going to see some of those at the Sunshine Coast.
Oh, what colour are they, Maddie? What colour?
They're a beautiful orange, I think, is the one. So the last year's model was the Paris, and it was the, I think they called it Safety Yellow. I'm not sure what they've called this one, but I think it's in an orange this year. So you won't be able to tell the difference hugely, but they are the new sexiness this year. Nike's always a big fan. You'll probably hear the Nikes before you see them coming. They're always the ones that clomp, and you can hear them coming out behind you. Yeah, they've got a big hollow section on the Alpha Fly, and that makes them clompy, very noisy. A lot of people this year are also buying the Pumas. The new Deviate and Fast R Nitro Elite 3s are out, and a lot of people are starting to buy Pumas. So that's a brand we haven't heard of in a long time, starting to make a comeback. And of course, you've got your stalwarts, your New Balance,
yes,
that some of us like. The Hoka's just released their new Rockets and Cielos as well, so you might see a few of those. The Hoka's are always going to have this massive stack height on them, so you'll see people an inch taller than normal on there.
Yeah, and then the Chinese, more affordable brand.
Yeah, so we've got Li Ning, which a couple of us now bought. There's a few people who've got the cheapo ones, and they've got a brand new one out, which I think Pete has bought as well. That seem quite good. So they're normally you're looking at around about that $350 for a brand new pair of carbons. The Li Nings are coming in at the $250 mark, so they're a little bit cheaper.
Have you worn them, Maddie?
Yeah, I've got the cheaper pair. I got mine for like $150, and I would say that they're not as good as my Vaporflies, but they're a third of the price or half of the price, and they're definitely a better shoe than half of the price. So really happy with them. And if you wanted to give a pair of carbons the first time try and not to, and you're a bit worried about the prices, the Li Nings are definitely worth having a look at.
It's a good idea.
Yeah. Yes, Steve, red shoes do go faster. So I think
Well,
that's another great tip when it comes to shoes.
Yeah, Cameron would argue with that.
Yeah, I'm
but,
sure Cameron would argue with that.
I think, yeah, price is probably the first factor in buying a pair of shoes, and after that is colour. You've got to make sure the colour is good.
Yeah, yeah. And a lot of these shoes are quite popular, even for the recreational runners as well. But I suppose one of the biggest tips that we can give everyone is don't try new shoes on race day.
Don't try anything new on race day.
Yeah.
Yes, now you did that
Yeah.
at Gold Coast and tell your story.
No. I didn't have Gold Coast. I wore my carbons. I wear ultras, people. People may not have heard of ultras. I use ultras, and I use my ultras on down at the Gold Coast for my half. And I really wasn't prepared, was I?
No.
I didn't train as much into it. So it did cause a bit of an injury at the moment. So I'm a little bit injured with my calf. I don't know whether that's a shoe. I don't know yet. Still need to sort that out. But don't try new shoes on race day, Matthew. Just remember that. But another important thing is the socks.
Mm.
I know people got different types of socks. I love using those toe socks in dingy. They're great socks. Matthew, do you love them as well?
I hate the Injinji. I'm sure I have the only pair of feet in the world that don't fit into those toe socks. It takes me about 20 minutes to put them on. So I'm a Stegen brand guy. I love my Stegen.
Oh, hang on. Nice wrapping.
Several pair of them sitting here ready to be opened.
Say that again, Matthew, so people can see.
So these are the Stegens.
Oh, yeah.
They come in beautiful colours.
They do.
Yeah,
They're
lovely.
pretty. They
Very
go with
pretty.
the fast red shoes.
They do. I found those to be excellent. I don't get many blisters from these at all, unless I've done something wrong with my lacing or something like that. So they've always worked well for me. But the toe socks, terrible.
Now, can you just tell your story, Maddie, about the race you did in the wrong socks? Yeah, because just so people get why socks are important.
My very first ever half marathon, I didn't know anything about running, didn't know anything about shoes or socks. So I just wore my trainers that I've been training in and a pair of white Nike cotton socks. So by the end of my half marathon, the white cotton socks were bright red because I just blisters and bled all through my shoes. It was disgusting. And as I sat down at the end of the half marathon, I was taking my shoes off. A guy walked up to me and said, "Mate, you need to buy some socks. You can't run in those." And ever since then, I bought proper running socks. You've got to at least spend, $30 on a pair of socks to make sure that they're good running socks.
Definitely. I know other people, like people who don't run, can't believe that you spend $30 on a pair of socks, but it is a good investment.
It is a good investment.
With the amount that we run as well, you've got to look after your feet because they're the most important part of running.
Yeah. And let's not forget lacing up your shoes as well. Such an important thing that is overlooked.
Yeah, and Garth's done a really good segment for that.
Yes. So there are a number of videos up on our Runners Jam YouTube channel that actually goes through some really great ways of tying up your shoelaces. So we'll put those links in the description below as well for you. So just remember that.
I just wanted to, when Maddie mentioned, no, it's not about the shoes, but Maddie mentioned the bleeding and the red, and it just made me remember, guys, tape your nipples.
Oh, nipples.
Yeah, we don't want to see big red streaks down your shirts.
That's the worst. I don't know how people, that's another thing, right? Don't wear a new shirt on race day. I don't know how people wear the event shirt. They know it looks fun and it looks exciting, but you've never run in that before. You've never sweated in that before. You've never washed it before. And that's a shortcut to nipple chafe. Absolutely.
Yeah. And for girls, we get it on the sides here. So you can get it everywhere, sports bra, wherever. So get some Body Glide or squirrel nut butter, whatever it is that you like, and rub that in places that are going to chafe. You will be very glad when you hop in the shower afterwards.
Exactly. There are just a few questions that have come up, and here are sort of more common questions. What if I need to use the loo mid-race?
Well, that's a question for you.
You just go. Don't be frightened to go
and Condi
to the toilet. It's okay. Matthew?
Look, I have a bit of a routine that I do. I'll go to the toilet a couple of times before I leave our room to go to the race. I'll go to the toilet when we get to the race, when we take the team photo. Then I'll go to the toilet again before I start the race. So for me, I have never needed to go to the toilet. I understand that some people might need to, but I think they need to improve their routine before the race.
I agree.
If that's the case.
I don't know why.
He's just a compulsive peer.
I just running makes me want to go to the toilet. I'm very strategic when I run. I make sure I know where every toilet is along the course, you know. And sometimes I'll just have to go.
And these are number ones.
Yeah, exactly. That's all, really.
Yes, but if you need to go to the loo, go to the loo.
Yeah. It's actually not a bad thing. It allows you to have a bit of a recovery.
Yeah, get a bit of a rest.
Get a bit of recovery. What about music? Do you run with music, Matthew?
I do. I have a curated playlist that I use. So again, I really like this playlist. It starts 15 minutes before the race, and it will just be a build-up. Some good songs getting a bit of energy into me. Then it has some songs where a bit faster paced, but they're not too noisy, not too loud, because I like to hear the atmosphere around going on.
Yeah.
Then about 5 or 6 songs in, I have a pace setting song, and I call that my song that has my 175 beats a minute cadence I need to run to. So that makes me hit my pace. And from there, it's just, I try and listen to my music, try and fall into it. I wear the open run headphones so that I can talk to people around me and hear what's going on. I always like to hear the crowd, and I always like to hear the bands going, but I also like to have my music. It gives me a bit of a smile. And a bit of a trick I've used a couple of times too, I ask people that I know to give me a song, and I insert that into the playlist. So it'll come along and it'll make me go, oh, what's that song? Oh yeah, that's the song that my brother Tim gave me, and it'll make me think of them rather than the kilometre that I'm currently running.
Yeah. Great advice. I don't normally run with music.
I don't run with music either, no. But most people do. I get that. Yeah.
I get that too. Yeah. What about walking? We talked about.
Well, just before we go into that, we do have an awesome playlist that's been curated by Alan. So we're going to drop that into the comments somewhere.
That will be in the that will be in the description. So that is fantastic. Yeah.
We listened to that for the hours that we were volunteering at the Brisbane Marathon, and it was such a vibe.
That was awesome.
Such a vibe. It was great.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. Walking during the race.
Do it if you need to.
Yeah.
Drink stations are a perfect place.
Yeah.
And that's probably something we should mention too for the newer runners is drink station etiquette. So with the drink stations, they'll have a number of tables set up. Don't ever go to the first table because everybody jams to that table and tries to get in. So always continue running past, go down a few tables and then move to your left. Grab your drink, stay on the left, drink your drink, take a walk while you're drinking and then put it in the litter zone. I can remember in one of my first races grabbing the drink and thinking, I'll be like the professionals. I don't want to lose any time and trying to chug it back and then having a cough and splutter and absolute mess. So
squeezing the cup and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, you
it's
can.
Probably something we don't practice enough, isn't it?
No, we haven't.
I find running etiquette is really important, Sandy. I think that's a good word for it. Like for me, I always try and signal when I'm moving out to go and pick up that water. So I'll put a left hand out, so I'm going here. And then I look at my guy that I'm picking up the cup with in the eye and say, you. So he knows to hand it to me. And then I don't try and stop running in the drink station area because you're always going to have someone right behind you. So go past it a little bit, slow down, move to the left, like you said.
But generally, if you are going towards if you're going to pick your drink up at one of the later tables at the station, there is definitely less chance of people running up the back of you or you getting in people's way. So and take a walk while you have it. Have your drink, take a little walk, have that breath, and then go again. Yeah.
Look, we're just coming to the end now, but just a few final tips. Obviously, the night before, make sure you lay your gear out, your pins, your socks, your race bib. Make sure you put your race bib on or you pin your race bib on your shirt. If you need sunscreen, make sure that's ready. Charge your watch. Charge your phone. Charge your headphones. I forgot to put that up. Charging your headphones is an important part of that sort of pre-race checklist, isn't it?
Yeah, you want to be able to put your head down on the pillow. You're probably not going to sleep well, but you don't want to be second guessing, have I got everything done? So get everything done before you put your head down on that pillow.
Yeah. What about logistics? Just getting to the start line, all that toilet.
Yeah, give yourself plenty of time. You're never going to regret getting there 15 minutes earlier. then, I mean, yeah, we had one of our lovely runners forget their bibs and leave them up in Brisbane and realise when they were halfway to the Gold Coast for Gold Coast Marathon. So
don't
that's
do
a
that.
situation you don't want.
Yeah. But it happens.
It happens. Yeah,
Mm.
these things do happen. So,
Mm.
you know, take the time to plan well,
Mm.
and especially if you're obviously going to be driving up the coast, put the bibs in the car.
Mm.
Get the bibs in the car before you leave. Yeah.
Yeah. And Jody just mentioned road closures as well. We know
that's
around
huge.
around these events, a lot of the roads are closed. So if you're driving in, make sure you're aware of those road closures as well.
Yeah.
What about the mental prep? There's always that sort of mental prep that you go through, isn't there?
Yeah, we've talked a lot about that.
We
What about
have.
mantras?
Hmm.
What's your mantra, Maddie?
I love these.
Yeah.
I got a few of them. So my big one that I used in the marathon last year at Sydney is you're faster than you think, you're stronger than you know. And when the time gets tough, you can actually put that into your cadence and faster than you think, stronger than you know. And you can just keep repeating that over and over. And it really did help me in that marathon. So hopefully it can help somebody else. I know that Jasmine, she likes to say, just run the kilometre that you're currently in. Like it's 21 of these Ks or there's 42 of these Ks. You can't bank time or lose time or make up time for any of the other kilometres, just the one that you're currently running in. So just make that one count. The last one that I do, I'm a bit of a racing car fan. So when I have my last gel, I always tell myself, now you're fueled to the finish. So go. That's what I like to say. Fueled to the finish. Let's go. Make that happen.
Exactly. And a lot of people just say, just another park run.
Yeah. And when you get to that 5K left, everyone goes another park run.
Another park run. Yeah.
And I know, when it gets down to that 1K mark, it's like, okay, for us who train with RUNNERSJAM, that's just from the start line to the big post. You know, that's the 1K rep. So you just break it down.
Yeah.
For me, before I did my marathon, someone who was really important to me had died in her early 40s, just a few weeks before. And so for me, I actually wrote on my arm, "It's a privilege," because it was like, mate, I get to do this now. Like that is a privilege, even though it's probably going to be painful and uncomfortable at times, which it absolutely was. It was a privilege to have a body that was healthy and could move at whatever speed I was moving at. You know, that was just a bonus.
Yeah.
So just remember, we're really blessed that we get to do these things. Yeah.
We are.
We are the 1%, right? There's only so many people that get to run, and we are.
Yeah.
Anybody doing half marathon or marathon is 1% of people that actually run. So that's incredible.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that was great, guys.
It was good.
I think we covered a lot of things there. We probably went over time, but that's okay. I hope everyone got a lot out of it. Is anything final, Matthew, that you'd like to say?
Just make sure that when you wake up on Sunday, you give yourself a little bit of race day, because that's all it's
Exactly.
No, I just have fun.
Have fun, yeah.
Don't be hard on yourself if that dream goal you have, you don't quite get there. Just get out there and have fun, because you made it to the start line, and that's a massive achievement. It really is a big achievement. So well done on getting all the training done and getting to the start line.
Well done.
You're a winner.
And we look forward to seeing everyone up at the Sunshine Coast this weekend.
What time, Condi?
3:30. We're going to set up the tent on the Saturday.
That's correct.
And then people can do their final preparations with their final meal before the race. So that's going to be exciting as well. And we normally have our great big race day or race finish dinner at the end of the day.
Sunday night.
On the Sunday night.
It's going to be a great weekend, guys.
Make sure you wear your medals to the dinner. It's the only time you really get to wear them.
Yes, exactly. And thank you, Al. Great stuff. Thank you, Al. Good to see you there, Al. Now, just remember, Alan is
he's our shoe expert.
The shoe guru, I think, is the term he likes to be called.
Yes,
I like it.
So if there's any shoe questions, we will pass them on to Al. Okay, guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you out on the road, out on the race.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.